They were designed to be the best. They met enemies face to face, endured tragedies and enjoyed victories. They went down in history due to the bravery of their crews. They are the ships that deserve to be called naval legends.
Alright everyone, welcome back. Where we left off last, just a quick review. I put on the local dirt, which gave the hull that textured look like you see on the cap there, which was layer 1. Then I primed the ship, and from there we went to layer 2, which was the rust color. And if you remember, we covered all the hull parts, all the steel, all around, and we did the island. It was almost a full covering, but random, not even. Okay. Again, trying to mimic rust. Rust doesn't go even. So, then the next layer was the salt layer. We applied water to various different parts of the hull, and we used salt, and we applied the salt. You can see here. Okay. Then, after I applied the salt, let that dry. So the salt stuck. The salt stuck to the water. When it dried, it stayed to the hull. Then what I did is I went using dark sea gray. I painted the hull, okay, and the superstructure of the island. That also got painted. Now I let that dry overnight. Today, I came home early from work. It was all dry, and I applied a second layer of salt. Places where the salt already was and where it wasn't. Once that dried, I then hit the ship with a very light mist coating in random areas of light sea gray. And the differences is very, very subtle. Probably virtually unnoticed. I let that dry, and now comes the moment of truth where we're going to take the salt off and see what lays underneath. So we've got how many layers now? We've got the local dirt, we got primer, we got rust, we got salt, we've got hull color, more salt, and then we got another layer of different color of gray. So far that's 7 different layers applied to it. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I took an old toothbrush, and I'm just going to go along and try to brush off. Hopefully, it's not coming off like I thought it would. There it goes. Okay, and then we reveal, let's see, hang on here. You can see it reveals the rust underneath. So it's taking a little bit more work than I thought. So let me go take care of this real quick, and then we'll come back and see how it came out. All right, be right back. Okay, so we're back. We removed some salt, and this is the current appearance. Go nice and slow across here. Actually, let me turn the light on for you. There you go. Alright, I hope this makes it easier for you to see. A little washed out, I think, by light, but you get the point. Side. Alright, the island. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some more areas with a brush and some baking soda to do some more rusting. And what it'll do is it'll give it and again, the paint was a smooth coat, and then with the baking soda it'll be a little bit more texture to it, just like the rest of the deck here. And I'll apply that to certain areas more pinpoint accurately with the brush. Okay, so give me a minute to set that up and we'll be back again. Okay, so I made myself a little concoction of rust using the paint and some baking soda. Okay, what it does is it makes it a thick paste, which again I thinned down so it was easier to apply, but it also, as you apply it and it dries, it gives layers. And then using a very fine tip brush, I went along the hull to different areas where the salt didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. Part of it was along areas like the crane here. These guns, actually all the guns didn't have any real rust on them, so now they do. The catwalks, I just applied a little bit and then I'd rub it off with my fingers. The back end, I didn't really do the back end, I need to really clean that up a little bit. These torn away walkways had no rust on them, so I went and did those. And sometimes I just put a little bit on and I'll use the brush to help thin things out a little bit, you know. Just enough to touch, add a little bit of color here and there. You know, along the gun rails here, a lot of rust around there. So that's what that is. So regroup a little bit. I have to do some more detail to the island. The island still isn't attached. I think I'm getting to a point where I need to attach it. Need to paint the black for the inside of the island here where the panels blew out so you don't see that. Paint that black, and then attach this, and then I gotta figure out what to do for the flight deck because I don't know what to do for that yet. I know it sounds silly, but I just haven't, you know, I've been so focused on the hull that I haven't really given a lot of thought to what to do on a flight deck. But we'll get to that soon. So for right now, thanks for looking, thanks for subbing.